This is Spain. Got hit with major snow. Alright, howdy folks, welcome back. I told you I'd be back. Alright, so Spain getting pummeled with a nasty winter storm that pretty much paralyzed them. Of course we have this event now, the fissure. We'll talk about this a little bit later on in our report here. I mean, shouldn't surprise anybody here at this channel. We were just talking about this last night. Okay, possible new volcanic activity coming to the surface. Old ones coming to life. We were all watching this one. It almost came to life last time and did a land deformation when the pressure receded. And now the pressure's back, and it broke through the surface. No surprise there. All right, let's come on over to our solar report here. Get this started for you guys. Hopefully you can see in here everything so far. It looks like it. Sounds like it. All right, let me get this kind of position for you guys. So here we are. Here's today's loop. Let me get my pointer. And here we are, 12/16/2023. All right, we're watching the CME right here. CME induced by an object right there, a little small one. Not much to really look at. But you can see it right there, kind of in the center. We'll find the frame here and we'll zoom in on that real quick for you, just to show you. Boom. Let's Well, here we go again with the negative image showing a really good shot of it. Very similar to the one we saw the other day. Here in white instead of in black is our object. You can see the little instrumentation reacting to it. Everything's in reverse here, so our object's white, the plasma's in black, except for this intense part right there. Okay, but there's your little object. Not much of a blast today. Not much to, really report. It's not coming our way, I don't think. Now back out. Kind of go through the next few frames here so you see where it is. You can see how it moves out there. It's got its little magnetic field. Oh, there's a shot of it back there a little bit. You can make out small object right there. Okay. And then it proceeds on out of the frame, few spits and sputters, but not much else going on the sun. Note we have these spires growing up in this region and down in here. Okay, so that might indicate another inbound object coming, several in different locations coming on this side of the sun here. We'll see what happens here. Sometimes they pop off on the other side, but it does appear that something's approaching. Okay. Let me just go ahead and put this back into motion. Slide it over a little bit better there. Okay, so there's your one little event for today, which is good. That's good news. We don't need another CME coming earthbound right now. All right. So now let's come over here to this instrument and talk about a lot of stuff. First, let's get zoomed in on our GOES X-ray flux real quick. Get that out the way. All right, nice and pretty lack. See, we're just cruising along. Here's today's box. Not much activity, nothing up into even M-class level. We do have a little fire off right here, but it's still not even M-class level going into tomorrow already. All right, whoa, whoa, whoa. What happened there? All right, so our potentials have gone down. X flare down to 5%, M flare down to 25. Okay, so our activity is kind of dying off right now, which is good. We do have what appears to be more coming in, but this sunspot region over here has a delta configuration to it, so we'll watch that one kind of carefully. Let's come on down here. And I want to talk about our KP over here. So let's pull this up bigger style for you. All right. So here you can see our different events as they came in. All right. The first X flare combined with all the other ones in a row were a long duration, not a very high in power, but a lot of energy over a long duration of time. All right. So when people say that it didn't hit, it did. It did hit. It just didn't have all the power to it. If you took everything here that's 4, usually our basic level, all right, 3 or 4. You take everything above that line, above my pointer here, and stack it up in one pile, it would have been 8 or 9, right? But it wasn't all in one wave. It was 3 combined into 1, so we got a lot of energy over a longer duration of time. It drops back down. The one we were talking about last night, I expected to hit today. Bingo, right there, all right? Then we've had another little blast just recently right here, okay? So we're taking on 3 rounds of energy. This right here has finally absorbed and made it to the surface, all right? That's a long duration event, so a lot of energy came in over the course of time, all right? Here we have another bigger impact right behind it, and then another one behind that. So absorption, absorption, absorption. 3 absorption events in a row, okay? And that's why we saw the volcano go off, okay? Well, I've been explaining how this works for a while, but what this means, this is not good news for the future as far as pressure from down below, because we've absorbed this one, we're starting to absorb more energy, then there's going to be another round to absorb here, okay? So we got a lot of energy that has just hit us over the last few days here that we've absorbed. Currently, our auroras are nice and faint, nice and light. That's good. It means there's no event hitting us currently at the moment. That's good. All right. I don't really like to see this instrument going into the red and stuff. It's it's exciting to report on, but it's bad news. It has very, very bad results. So there's that. We'll even open up the trackers. Probably not much on there, but just to see. Yeah, they show a small little CME coming out that way. I'll even enlarge it for you. There we go. Okay. Look at this. It seems to almost kind of give us just a glancing blow again. Maybe not, but the edge of it does seem to kind of, when you look here past the Earth, look in this spot, once it passes, you can see it did kind of clip stereo A in the Earth a little bit there. So, possible another little slight impact, not much, but another possible slight impact from this, from today's event, all right? Let's go over here. I want to look at this impact that they're expecting here. Oh, wait, this is the one from the 17th. Never mind. Never mind. I thought that was an updated one. Yeah, this is still our impact from the 17th. All right, we already had that one. We saw that one, and then we saw another impact that I called for right after it on the 18th, and then a secondary one that I didn't even really suspect would come. All right, so we got all. Let's just go back real quick here. Okay, so one more time with this while we're here. So, one big absorption right here, backed up by more pressure, backed up by more. All right, so this volcanic eruption is going to continue for a while because there's continued pressure or continued waves coming in, inducing more and more pressure from down below. Now let's go on over to here. What was it on this one I wanted to talk about? Oh, this is our Schumann. All right, here, let me just pull this up real quick then. Scooch in. So you can see we've gone from this really light, really weak magnetic field to when we got impact, it starts to vibrate or it starts to brighten up and strengthen. And you can even see down in here, we're having some more of this scraping event going on right now. So this is an indication that pressure down below is causing the corona shell to scrape again. Pressure has come up and made it to the surface, but it's not enough because we're still scraping, all right? So that means there's still a lot of pressure down there. Once this lifts, that kind of indicates that the pressure has relieved a little bit. But then don't forget, we got another wave coming and another one after that. So I expect to see maybe another little bright spot here coming pretty soon if we don't have, more pressure released at the surface. Okay? Where'd my other article go? I guess I didn't open it. Anyways, let's get on over here to the earthquakes now. And, here's a new one. So since our eruption, we had some 4.5s and a couple of 5s going on today. And then we had our eruption. There were a couple more 5s and a 6 here in China after the eruption. So that means that eruption relieved a lot of pressure, but there's still pressure down in other regions coming up to the surface as well. So let's hop into this real quick. So no real central deep quake for today. There's energy in this system right here, 5.0. Let me back up just a little bit more so you guys can get all of that. There we go. So 5.0 and 10, that's surface quake. Coming into the system, 5.1. This is some of that 5 energy that was going off today. 5.1. Okay. Over here, 5.2. Let's go up into this range first. On this plate, we had a 4.9 at a depth of 39. Come on, you. Another 4.9 at a depth of 10 on the other plate. And another 4.9 at a depth of 10 right there. So you could see some of our pressure was starting to relieve, was starting to push on our weak spot here, producing some 5 energy quakes at the surface. It even came up here to this fulcrum point at Taiwan with 4.4 down at 183 there. Okay, and then the rest of this is pretty quiet, all right? Now, my computer will cooperate. Now let's get in here to China. Just off of this fulcrum point, these are really dense compacted mountains and stuff, so it kind of delivers energy where the weak zone is. So just past these dense compact mountains up in here into China is our quake that they had. Now, come on. While we're in here, note that it's not just one quake that they had here today. All right. Let's start with the big one. And it says 5.9. I've seen the footage. This was a stronger quake than that. Most reports I saw were 6.2, and that's what I think more along the lines of. Okay, so we had a 6.2 here. I don't care what they say anymore. I really don't trust their numbers anymore, but we have to go with what we have. 6.2 right here with a bunch of other 4.6, 4.2, 4.6, 4.5. So some aftershocks in this region at 4 point, mid 4 magnitude. That tells me when you got aftershocks that are this strong, this quake was stronger than 5.9. All right, so 6.2 was some aftershocks or possible little quake swarm maybe going on in this region in China, which may continue with our continuing pressure coming up to the surface here. So another little spot to watch now here in China. Remember I was showing you on the map, they had a lot of pressure built up underneath them. So if they're not having volcanoes, erupting, they're going to see their pressure relieved in the form of earthquakes. Coming up to here, boom. Here's a 5.2. It's probably a little bit bigger than they're calling right there. Way up here on the side of the Gobi Desert. All right, so 5.2 at the surface there. Probably a little bit bigger. And then as we come in here to this fulcrum point, I should have just left it zoomed in, sorry. We have another 5.1 at a depth of 10, backed up by a 4.8 at a depth of 10. All right, so 5 energy is releasing at the fulcrum points here as it's getting pushed out of the way, or just getting pushed from underneath. Where was that odd quake that I saw? All right. Anyways, let's go up here to the tip of Sumatra right here. This is a 4.5. So we still got our volcano going off right here and earthquake activity just upstream from it. You can see it maybe skipped over this region, released here, deeper into China, even up here, deeper into China, even in here. So China's getting a little round of quakes. Note how quiet and empty Europe is. Expect to see either pressure quakes, coming in from here, 5, mid 4 to 5 strength coming into here, or their volcanoes going off. And in fact, I think we have a new one added to the map today. I'll come back to it when we get to the volcano report. The rest is kind of quiet. We will take a peek at this, though. This is in Colorado, a 3.8. Okay, so almost a 4 there in Colorado. What's going on here? 2.5. You know what? Let's go back to this one at Colorado for a second. I want to see what kind of ground features we got going on here. Oh, it's this area again. Right next to this little, it looks like almost a little fault going right through here. This is like the foothills, I think, coming off of the Rockies, and that's where you get weak zones. Is where your foothills meet like a flat plain area. There's sometimes a weak zone, and you'll find a fault running along there, and it seems to be some kind of underground fault, maybe running through that area, releasing energy. This has been the spot right here for a minute now. So we'll watch that little spot since it's come to life. Real quiet here on the Juan de Fuca. All right, so a little bit of energy right here. But after that volcano erupted, all that 5 energy, it just stopped. It was firing off one after another, after another, after another. The 6 in China, the other 5s, boom, boom, boom. We had that volcano. There were a couple other 5s, and then it went really quiet. So that volcano up in Iceland is relieving a lot of pressure. And when we go back and look at this, whoops, this one I believe it is. Come on, Lord, can I just have the one? when you look at this long fissure, okay, this is like 3 to 4 times longer than it was the first time we had it a couple of years ago. All right, where's the shot from far away? Here, I'm just going to let it play while I'm talking about. So when I was talking about pressure coming up from the underside of the crust, it stretches the crust. It's like over boiling an egg. You crack the eggshell, and then you get cracks, fissures opening up in the crust. This is not your normal volcano that has a big cone with one. There's a good shot right there. And that's not even the entire thing. Look as they pan down it. These fountains are 300 to 400 feet tall. Some of these right here. All right. These are, that's a lot of pressure coming out of a fissure. All right. This is a crack in the ground that opened up. We had that pressure before that did upwelling in this region. It pushed up from underneath. It didn't erupt, but then the pressure subsided. And that upwelling sank, and we saw all those, the fissures and cracks open up in the ground. That weakened that region for the next round of pressure. And here comes this next round of pressure coming in, and I was watching the timing on this, along with the timing of the opening of the Blue Lagoon. They were planning on opening the Blue Lagoon hot spring right next to this thing. And I knew this new inbound energy was coming. I'm thinking, oh God, it's going to erupt right when they open it and possibly boil people to death. But thankfully, I don't think that happened. But some other things here. This big long fissure is a lot longer than it was before. All right, this is the crust of the earth unzipping, kind of. All right, and all right, there's a good shot of how long it is. 4 kilometers long, 3 miles long. Before it was just like a little segment over here. Now we have all this new region that has just unzipped and broken. This is a big time fracture in the crust of the earth. All right? And I have a feeling it's going to go for a while. Now, let's get back to our earthquakes here. So that was the end of the earthquakes. Now, let's come over here to the volcano report, too. Because this pressure is affecting not just this volcano. We're getting all the other ones are getting affected as well. So, yeah, here we got it set up on the 17th. And then, come on. Whoops, I wanted the 18th. Why are we set up on the 17th? Can I go back one little step, maybe? Oh, this page is so touchy because it has so many ads on it. There's the activity for the 18th. Come back here. Bear with me for a second here. There we go. Now, can we have 18th? Load up for a second. All right, so for the 18th, here we go. Stromboli. No, not right now. I don't want to do. Thank you. Now, we have Stromboli here going off over by Italy. Oh, this site. Please, can we just like scroll on the site? Thank you. Without ads. You spend so much time ads, you can't even use the site. All right, back to this. Stromboli had a small lava flow began to spill over from the crater terrace onto the upper Saccheria del Fuoco last evening. This was accompanied by continuous and comparably strong spattering from the small vent in the central northern crater. Spattering and lava overflowing the dome here at Stromboli because of the pressure. Raung, explosive activity, East Java. This is new. Marapi continues. intermittent explosive activity continues. You know that that's going to have an uptick. Okay. Ducono still going off, estimated 8,000 there. So Popo here, estimated 20,000 feet. Okay, so the altitudes are getting higher. Explosive activity continues. Volcanic plume rose to 20,000 feet. All these plumes are getting higher and higher. Santiaguito, Fuego to 16,000 feet. Nevada del Ruiz went today to 19,000 feet. Sangay blew up today to 20,000 feet. Reventador blew up today to 14,500 feet. Sabancaya blew up today to 24,000 feet. Ubinus, still volcanic ash abrasion. Erdel Ale, the diffusion eruption of the volcano continues at fluctuating intensity. All right, fluctuating intensity because we got wave after wave after wave coming in, creating pressure and then receding, and then more pressure and then receding. That causes fluctuating intensity. That is not on the list because there were new ones here. This is not the list I was looking at before. All right, let me try one more thing back out of this. Let's start up this one here. This is all about today's event here in Iceland. All right, the first top of this. So we have Fuego, Pobo, Marapi, Reykjanes added to the list of active volcanoes now. Sangay, Sabancaya. The latest information gives reason to hope that Grindelwald might not be hit by the eruption. Most of the activity of the fissure seems to be north of the section of lava. Okay, so it's at a different site. It's a little bit north. It's the fissure, not the old volcano. This is what I wanted to show right here. This is the moment it went off. So let me just back that up. So it was nighttime, and boom. Well, looks like a nuclear bomb going off in the distance, except this glow doesn't fade or go out. It's still glowing and still erupting. It's just a 1-minute little video here, the opening moments when it went off. This camera caught it, and somebody was probably a little asleep at the wheel and looked over at the screen and went, "What? Oh my God, what's going on?" And started to zoom in. And there's our first fountain. And this thing unzipped. It was just one small fountain like this, and then unzipped, and just that fissure kept growing and growing over the course of the day. All right. Now, another geologist discussing this with, we're kind of concerned about the actual lava flow, the volume that it's pumping out right now. Even though they built the dike and everything, part of this flow looks like it might go into the town. So everybody pray that this doesn't destroy the town, but the way things are looking, this volume that's just coming out of this, we can get back out of this here. There we go. I don't want X. I just wanted it out of that screen. Thank you. So that volcanic activity is going to continue because we have more pressure coming in. Oh, I hate these sites, these ads jam up my computer. Please, Lord, can we just have the next instrument? I really don't want this site anymore. At least we got it. We can reload this one here. Okay, so over here real quick, I want to point out our polar vortex here is really coming off. It's splitting over here at America, but it's taking this aim at Europe. Hey, come on, there we go. And now you can, Spain just got slammed with snow. All of Europe, this whole region, expect really, really intense weather coming your way. Now look at this over here. At China, it has really just kind of taken a U-turn and gone straight up towards the pole. So it's no longer going across right here. It just turned and went up like this. Now let's pull it around and you'll see we have this split vortex. Here's the main vortex up here, but we still have this sub-vortex with its own little more powerful sub-vortex inside of it. Okay? And this is diverting this flow. It's splitting that flow right here over the eastern seaboard. Look at this. Right where we had our storm go right up through that alley right there is now where this flow is splitting and going halfway, turning, going this way across the country, and the other half going across the Atlantic there. So we have a new kind of configuration here in our polar vortex here that's going to steer storms a lot differently here, and I think the West Coast is about to get hit here soon. So, all right, a very odd pattern we have for our vortex right now, and this is still transition season, but we are getting mighty close to the 21st. The 21st being the first day of winter, and we should have a pretty stable one vortex, polar vortex, not a split vortex like this. All right, let's come on over to the forecast and talk about the weather that hit the East Coast. Man, did it hit the East Coast, okay? And it did the bombogenesis effect. It intensified. Nobody was calling for intensification or bombogenesis on this storm, but it did do it. Well, no one except for me. I'm not trying to take a bunch of credit or anything. I'm just trying to tell you that this is kind of the way it works, and we're trying to give warning out there and stuff. All right. I pray for everybody that went through that. I know there's a lot of power outages. The last time the map showed that a lot of power has been restored. So it looks like they were pretty on it and got power restored. Otherwise, they're lying, and a bunch of people are sitting in the dark on the East Coast right now. If you're in this region and you went through that storm today and your power went out and you have it restored and you're here watching my show, let me know if you had experienced some power outages and they've already restored your power and you're in my audience. Let me know. Or later on in the if you watch it later on tomorrow, your people that missed the live stream here. Okay, so this is the current conditions. Actually, one back right there. Still, this thing leaving snow up here on the backside of it as it goes off into Nova Scotia. We go into the morning of the 19th. It's kind of clearing out as this new storm comes onto the West Coast now. I went and checked about inbound energy for the 19th, and there wasn't much. I don't think we're going to have any added inbound stellar energy adding to our storms on the 19th here or the 20th. We'll just do it one day at a time. But for the 19th right now, this storm clearing out the East Coast, morning of the 19th. Another storm coming into the West Coast here. Here's the noontime. The end of convection of the 19th. Going into the nighttime of the 19th. A little severe weather in the morning of the 20th here. Skirting down the coast. Severe weather skirting down the coast right there in California. Even still severe weather by the end of convection on the 20th. So this little low down here is spinning around, kicking up trouble for California here on December 20th. Then as we go into the morning of the 21st, first day of winter, we go into the noon there. The end of convection here, we have some severe weather rotating offshore, possibly coming onshore here in California on the sundown the 21st. Into the nighttime still. Then we go to the morning of the 22nd. Now you can see this big blob of moisture has kind of slowly crept up in here. And now it's reaching up and connecting with this upper part up here, this upper level, this upper low. And they kind of reach and connect here. We have a little icing event in the middle right there again. This will be the afternoon of the 22nd. So we'll back up. There's the morning of the 22nd. A little chance for severe weather down in Texas here. The noontime, lots of rain throughout this area. The end of convection, and then the nighttime of the 22nd with severe weather down there. Still a little pocket back in here, snow moving in here on the morning of the 23rd. There's the noontime, convection, nighttime. See how these are kind of coming together? This low is spinning, it's pulling moisture up here. So we got, that's the nighttime of the 23rd. As we go into the morning of the 24th, this thing starts to wrap up here and gain strength here. So it's the morning of the 24th. The noontime, with possible icing up here in North Dakota, South Dakota, snow back here in Wyoming, reaching down into Colorado here. There's the end of convection right there on December 24th, Christmas Eve. We have severe weather that has been sucked up and pulled up into the tail of this now, going from like the Fort Worth, Dallas area up into Arkansas, up into patches into Missouri. Now, all depending on what comes off the sun on the 21st, 3 days before this, we'll see if we have any added energy. Let's pray we don't. Not for Christmas, at least. Because that'll be a nightmare. All right, that's the nighttime now, kind of, spattering across Louisiana, Arkansas, up into Missouri. The morning of the 25th. All right, so we're going to have some stormy weather out there on Christmas. Southern Florida moving in here, still into Alabama and a little tip of Georgia there, moving through. That's the afternoon of the 25th. So at the end of convection, we'll have some icing up here, snow around there on the backside, and then this long band of rain going across with chance for severe weather in the very tail of it there. As we go into the night, it's still kind of rotating around, trying to pick up strength. That's the morning of this 26th. You see this big wall just coming right at Pacific Northwest there, the 26th. It's the noontime. Then even this stuff back behind us picked up intensity here into Louisiana around convection of the 26th. Goes up into Mississippi at the nighttime. Skirts the panhandle of the coast right here on the morning of the 27th, and then it looks to do kind of a repeat of what we just saw. This big low is wrapping up again here with severe weather on the backside, sucking severe weather off the Atlantic into Florida again. I mean, really in the same zone. Let's just zoom in once here that I can. All right. And severe weather coming into the Bay Area over here. So this looks to be almost another repeat, a similar repeat of what we just saw. So let's go back a little bit. It all kind of comes together. It starts off right about here. This is the afternoon of the 26th into the nighttime. Morning of the 27th. So basically on the 27th, this thing starts to wrap up through the morning, through the noon, the end of convection, and then into the nighttime. So the nighttime of the 27th is going to be another nightmare for this region of the country. And you guys just got over, you'll just be getting over that last little batch that you had and then another one of these monsters kind of moves through here. Let's go. That was the nighttime. Let's go into the morning here. Now look at this. Lots of snow on the backside, all right? Really powerful, hitting Long Island, New York, Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut area. Just really powerful storm right there again. And this last one put down a lot of flooding, did a lot of damage. Let me go one more. So that was the morning. Wait, I lost track. Sorry. So much going through my head. It's so hard now. All right, so this was the morning of the 28th. It kind of dissipates and scatters and goes offshore through the noontime. But we do have all this intense snow on the backside hitting New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, as far down as Tennessee. Even in this frame, even shows hitting southern or northern parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. So this big deep trough digging down in the backside again with cold air might bring snow way down there by the end convection, the 28th. Then into the nighttime, still snowing, but it kind of leaving as another pulse comes in the west coast here. The noontime, the 29th, convection there. Nighttime, morning of the 30th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 1st, noon, convection, nighttime of the 31st. Going to be snowing up here in the Sierras the nighttime of December 31st. All the people like to go to Tahoe for New Year's. Going to be standing in the snow. That'll be the morning of the 1st right there. Into the noon, convection, nighttime, January 2nd, noon, convection, nighttime, January 3rd. Ooh, look at January 3rd, possibly serious weather creeping up into Texas there in the morning. That's noon. And then the convection. Yeah, that's our last frame right there. Is the end of convection there in Texas, with an event here in Texas possibly by January 3rd. That's way far out there. Things change so drastically on this thing from day to day. So there you go. There's your report right there. And we'll let that play for a second while I pull up the spiritual report tonight. And we'll do a reading and stuff. All right. Let me try clearing out some of these instruments that kind of jam things up a little bit here. So I hope everybody's hanging in there. We got some crazy weather, earthquakes, volcanoes, incoming pressure. So I expect to see that volcano up in Iceland just continue, all right? And we'll see other blasts going and continued pressure, bringing earthquakes and continued volcanic activity until that pressure reduces. Okay, now where can we go? We can go this one, I guess. There we go. Bring up my page real quick. So we're going down to the spiritual report here. I'm just going to type it in right here. Star Wars. Star Wars? What are you talking about, Star Wars? Alright, so I'm going to pick up where we left off with this activity that's been happening. Let me pause this, full frame it. All right. Before we even get this video kind of started here, I'm going to see if we can get you guys to see this first. What we got here is Yoda in the clouds, all right? And maybe once this video plays, we can get a little bit better shot of it. But right now, I'm going to start pointing it out. Here's an eye. Here's his other eye, the dome head that he has. Here's his pointy ear coming out here. His little chubby cheeks, his short little chin right here. All right, and the other ear coming out this side. So it's this big face right here over the mountains. All right, and I'm going to start this video, and we'll let this play real quick. Okay. Oh, boy. Out, different things appear. So I'm Howdy folks, welcome back. So here we got you at April 20th, and I've been taking pictures every day because I've been seeing these events unfold in the sky every day now. So I've been getting lots of pictures and not even enough time to process them yet, but here we go. So this one I saw unfolding when I was driving, and I couldn't take a picture until I got to this stoplight. So I squeezed off as many pictures as I could at this stoplight, and we're going to start zooming in, pulling it over a little bit, and maybe some of you see it now. That's too zoomed in. But there's Yoda in the sky right there. Yes. And this is like one of these pictures that's multi-dimensional too. So if you tilt your head to the right a little bit and make this an eye now, it turns into a gremlin or one of the little mogwais before he's eaten after midnight. So we had this sitting in the sky. Now, I'm used to seeing angels and dragons and stuff, you know, biblical stuff, so this one caught me off guard, and even though it's not part of the, the story or whatever, it's still in the sky, so I'm going to bring it to you. And maybe this is an entity, or there's an actual character, Yoda, that lives out there in the universe or something. Alright, hopefully you guys can see this. It's a little hard with this angle. We can come over to my channel and look at this a little closer if you want. But hopefully you can see Yoda there. I kind of pointed it out. And it was really dominant in the sky. You could see this face just looking down at you. And like I said, I got to the stoplight and squeezed off as many pictures as I could. But it took me a while to figure out what the part this plays. What does this symbolize? What does this mean? You know, is there Star Wars going on? The wars in the heavens going on? You know, is there a race of, a race of creatures that are, like this? Is this an alien, a real alien race, or what? And then finally, God explained it to me. Yoda is an ascended master, right? He teaches ways that are very similar to what Jesus taught. In fact, they're almost identical. The ways of a Jedi are the ways of Jesus. And may the Force be with you is actually a subliminal way of saying may the faith be with you. All right? So not only do I have UFOs that follow me, that watch me and study me, not only do I have these giant faces in the clouds that follow me and watch me and study me everywhere I go, but I also have ascended masters like Yoda that watch me and follow me and study my every move. And this isn't the first time I saw Yoda in the clouds. Or this was the first time, but I've seen it several times. Okay? And I was wondering what the heck that means. And finally the Lord says he's an ascended master who's watching and studying and following your every move. Alright, so that was like the little 8th dot. These are all hints and clues, as well as miracles. That's why they look so weird. That's it. It's like, your imagination is running away with you. It's pareidolia. It's this, that. Yeah, wait until it appears in the sky in your face. You will know for sure it is not pareidolia. It's not just, you know, a freak alignment of clouds. I'm just trying to show you these things now and get you guys used to seeing this stuff, because it's getting more and more evident and more obvious, and pretty soon people are going to catch on, and it's going to be shocking everybody except for you guys. All right, so another little event here that I captured, and I even captured the Death Star in this one. It's really hard to see. Should I try? Do you guys want me to try to show it here? Okay, I will. Where is it here? It's coming up here. There's a scene in Star Wars where the Death Star has been destroyed, and you're looking at the Death Star with half of it blown up and falling away. Here, all right, hang on. Let me just see if we can try this real quick. So I can start working on another one. I'm going to start going in on this object over here. We're going to zoom in. Oh, first, here's what appears to be some kind of big old dinosaur face with the eyes and teeth right here. Here it is. A couple pictures of this. And as we pan back, right there. You're gonna. All right there. It's the destroyed Death Star. Here's the round side on the back, but here's the destroyed side. It's all broken and destroyed. All the infrastructure's all shattered right here and down on this end. And here you can make out the radar dish right there. And that was sitting next to Yoda in the sky. A destroyed Death Star. Can you guys see that? It's like there's a scene where they're looking at the Death Star being rebuilt or whatever, and you could tell that the top half of it right here blew away, and the bottom half right here had blown away, but like 3/4 of the planet or the thing was still there, and they were redoing all the construction on this part. So not only was Yoda in the sky that day, but a destroyed Death Star. Now, what this could symbolize is the destruction of evil. Okay, because in Star Wars, it's the classic good versus evil, right? The Death Star being their device of ultimate destruction, their, like their nuclear bomb for us or whatever would be their Death Star or whatever, their weapon of mass destruction. And here it is destroyed right next to Yoda. So hopefully you can see that. If not, it was worth a try though. So yeah, the Death Star and Yoda showed up on April 20th of all days, 420. Huh? Imagine that. Ascended Masters watching me, studying me, following me everywhere I go. It's so awkward. Well, not anymore. At this point in the journey, as I was going through this, it was just getting very, very weird. Having these faces follow me and watch me everywhere I go, and no one else able to see them. And I'll take a picture of it, and then they're like, "Oh, I see it now." I'm like, "But you couldn't see it when it was in the sky right there. I was trying to point it out to you, but..." So you guys keep looking up. There's activity going on in your clouds, and it's more than just pareidolia, because for everything to line up just perfectly, the eyes, the nose, the stubby chin, the puffy cheeks, to draw Yoda's face is different than drawing a regular face. His is not proportional to a human's face. So who did it proportionally correct in the clouds? God did. Okay? So, not only do I have, like I said, I got marrying angels and giant faces in the clouds and UFOs follow me, watching me, studying my every move. Now I have ascended masters like Yoda that are watching me and following me and studying me. Okay, hopefully you can see Yoda in that. It was there. If not, come over to my channel and click on Star Wars. You saw how I did it. I just typed in that little search bar. So let me go back here one more, I think. Yeah, and we'll pick out a image to read to you. Sorry about last time there. It came out all blurry. And we had Captain Picard doing our reading. And I did not like that. So now we will just leave the image sitting still like it is so you can see it in all its glory. I'm going to keep showing this to you guys till you get it through your heads. I think you guys have seen it so many times, but for any newcomer that hasn't seen this yet, we're going to just keep doing it this way. Okay. Oh, you're splitting it up. Okay. Thank you, bud, for stopping by. Thank you, everybody that stops by and watches this later on the replay, too. Let me get a sip here and get ready for tonight's reading. Okay. So, do not be weighed down by the clutter in your life. Lots of little chores to do at some time, in no particular order. If you focus too much on these petty tasks, trying to get them all out of the way, you will discover that they are endless. They can eat up as much time as you devote to them. Instead of trying to do all your chores at once, choose the ones that need to be done today. Let the rest slip into the background of your mind so I can be in the forefront of your awareness. Remember that your ultimate goal is living close to me, being responsive to my initiatives. I can communicate with you most readily when your mind is uncluttered and turned towards me. Seek my face continually throughout the day. Let my presence bring order to your thoughts, infusing peace into your entire being. Come to me and rest in my presence. As you ponder the majestic mystery of the Incarnation, relax in my everlasting arms. I am the only person who was ever sired by the Holy Spirit. This is beyond your understanding. Instead of trying to comprehend my incarnation intellectually, learn from the example of the wise men. They followed the leading of a spectacular star, then fell down in humble worship when they found me. Praise and worship are the best responses to the wonder of my being. Sing praises to my holy name, gaze at me in silent adoration, and look for a star of guidance in your life, and be willing to follow wherever I lead. I am the light from on high that dawns upon you to guide your feet into the way of peace. I am Emmanuel, God with you at all times. This promise provides a solid foundation for your joy. Many people try to pin their pleasure to temporary things, but my presence is with you eternal. Rejoice greatly, knowing that your Savior will never leave you or forsake you. The nature of time can make it difficult for you to enjoy your life. On rare days when everything is going well, your awareness that the ideal conditions are fleeting can dampen your enjoyment of them. Even the most delightful vacation must eventually come to an end. Seasons of life also come and go, despite your longing at times to stop the clock and keep things just as they are. Do not look down on temporary pleasures, but do recognize their limitations, their inability to quench the thirst of your soul. Your search for lasting joy will fail unless you make me the ultimate goal of your quest. I will show you the path of life. In my presence is fullness of joy. No matter how lonely you may feel, you are never alone. Christmas can be a hard time for people who are separated from loved ones. The separation may be a result of death, divorce, distance, or other causes. The holiday merriment around you can intensify your sense of aloneness. But all my children have a resource that is more than adequate to help them, my continual presence. Remember this prophecy. The virgin will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. Long before I was born, I was proclaimed to be God who is with you. This is rock solid truth that nobody and no circumstances can take away from you. Whenever you're feeling lonely, take time to enjoy my presence. Thank me for wrapping you with a robe of righteousness to make you righteous. Ask me, the God of hope, to fill you with joy and peace. Then, through the help of my Spirit, you can overflow with hope into the lives of other people. Whew. Oh, almost fried the battery there. Everything started to heat up and get smoking and overcharged something there. All right. So, hope you enjoyed that reading. Hope you guys are hanging in there. A lot of stuff going on. We still have more pressure coming, that we've absorbed. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Oh, good. You did get your wrench. All right, cool. I was looking to put a wrench on Jimmy there, and I couldn't find it. I thought I had done it already, but I see you're there with your wrench, so good. All right, so yeah, just continue to watch. We might still have earthquake activity, more volcanoes going off. Just real quick, I want to come back and point out this right here. We have 3 waves that we just absorbed. This one right here, this second little quick pulse, and then another little one just recently. So back to back to back, keeping the pressure up. All right, the pressure relieves. We had the volcano, but more pressure came in. So it's keeping the pressure up. So I expect that volcano in Iceland to just continue for a while. And if we have another inbound wave that comes and hits, it'll just continue it even further. So let's pray that we get a little break from the sun, that, we'll have less of these impacts. And hopefully the pressure can subdue for a little while and let the earth take a break. All right? So that's it for now. I love you guys. I miss you all. God bless you all. Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you're enjoying this 12 days of Christmas countdown here as we lay these dots out and start to connect them. All right? So, Merry Christmas, everyone. God bless you all. I miss you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am back. Can't you tell?